Welcome to UWS Weekly, a show that is dedicated to covering United Women's Soccer, a national pro-am league with your host, Jonathan Ward. Each and every week, we will highlight players, supporters, and staff of the clubs we all pride ourselves to support in North America. The UWS is a league that is committed to advancing women's soccer. What's going on, soccer fans, and welcome to UWS Weekly, a show dedicated to the best pro-am league in the world, the UWS and the UWS2. My name is Jonathan, and I'm your host, and tonight I'll eventually be joined by the New Jersey Teamsters FC owners, Sibrena and Alexsi Geraldino. I know it's hard. You had to choose between me and the She Believes Cup, but I'm glad you are here to choose this over that. The She Believes Cup picked a bad day to start their tournament. But best of luck to all the teams involved, and we hope everybody is able to stay injury-free and have a great time representing their countries. The UWS and Ducktig brand have announced a multi-year partnership between the two organizations. The National Pro-Am League is excited to team up with the designers of soccer-specific waterproof notebooks, notepads, and accessories for coaches and player planning, reflection, and development on an exclusive basis. UWS is also proud to continue to partner with women-owned businesses such as Ducktig and Techni Football. The New England Conference of the UWS League 2 is filling up its team lineup with two more teams for the summer of 2021. Aztec Soccer Club and South Shore Select will push the number up to 8 teams who will compete for the conference crown in the revitalized region of the Pro-Am Soccer League's New England Conference. The reserve teams for the Albany Rush, Connecticut Fusion, New England Mutiny, and Worcester Smiles, as well as Massachusetts-based New England Football Club and Upper 90 Soccer Academy, will also take part this summer. 2 more teams have joined the summer of 2021 lineup in the UWS League 2. The inaugural season of the new development pathway for players in the U20 to U23 age group continues its rapid growth, with further additions to the Mid-Atlantic and Sunshine Conferences. UWS League 2 is under the umbrella of the National Pro-Am League and also serves as the official league for the UWS reserve teams. Based out of Baltimore, Maryland, the Copper Mine Soccer Club will be the 8th team in the Mid-Atlantic alongside the Lancaster Inferno Reserves and Annapolis United FC, Delaware Union, Keystone FC, and the Maryland Elite Soccer Club, North Virginia FC, and Steel United, Pennsylvania. The Sunrise Soccer Club, also known as the Sting Club on the girls' side, joins the Sunshine Conference. Based out of Sunrise, Florida, the club concentrates on developing its players across a select number of teams in highly competitive yet family-type environment. The club won a 2018 United States Youth Soccer National Championship and has tallied a total of 19 state cups since 2010. So tonight, I am honored to be joined tonight and have the opportunity to speak with the owners of the New Jersey Teamsters FC. So please welcome Alex and Sibrena Geraldino.
Hi.
Hey, guys. Good evening. Welcome to the show. So glad for you guys to take the time. Thank you for having us on. Actually, thank you for joining me. I appreciate it. I know it's probably late out there in New York, but hey, you're here and I appreciate it. Thank you for taking the time.
Thank you for having us. Stop copying off of me.
So before we get started tonight, give us a little insight. Tell us about yourselves and how you got started in the game that we all love.
Well, I'm long-winded, so I'll let
so you'll let me talk. So I guess to make a long story short, we travel a lot to Brazil, South America, different places, and the common conversation seemed to be football. Alex thought we were talking American football, but we were speaking about soccer. So we scrambled around, figured out how to get him to be an agent, because he was an agent for football and other sports. And then we figured out how to do an intermediary situation a year later. Got his license and decided, hey, we just need to develop players. And that's how we got started. I fell in love helping my husband out with another man called soccer. And
now female.
Yeah, 4 years later, and this is where we're at.
Nice. Alex?
In short, the way I approached it was becoming an agent, and one thing led to another, networking and individuals that introduced me and say, hey, like Sibrena mentioned, traveling abroad, and the demand was like representation. And came back to the community here and saw all these kids here that needed some sort of representation. So I said, okay, it was a supply and demand type of situation. Let me see what happens. We did an initial request. It took too long to process. We revisited again, and we didn't get any response. So Sibrena took it upon herself and called the president. So,
I did what a publicist would do. And I called Mr. Gulati at work and said, what the heck is the matter with you people? You're not answering my damn call.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah, he was gracious about it. He said, let me look into it. He did personally. He said, okay, this is what's going on. And within 10 minutes, general counsel called me and said, hey, by the way.
Yeah, we didn't know about the FIFA scandal. So we were like blind. We didn't know it was bubbling. And when it happened, we didn't think connected to United States in a way. And that's what the whole halt on intermediaries were about.
Yeah. So he was very gracious, very professional about it. And so we got that part. And then the next thing was getting to the whole,
developing.
Yeah. And figuring out.
I told you he's long-winded.
It's a long story.
It's
one
a great
one
story.
day we'll put it into film.
Yeah.
Film or writing, we're in. So let me ask, what got you interested or motivated to start the club? We're in Bayonne, New Jersey. We have the New Jersey Teamsters. We've heard different stories from Discovery Channel, right? So give us some insight into how this came about.
I will do the introduction to it, and then Sibrena can elaborate on the whole.
Go ahead.
Discovery situation. So basically, the representation part, me being an agent or registered intermediary, I said, okay, I didn't want to chase players. So I said, I met some individuals, they wanted to expand their brand into the East Coast. So I didn't have the contact, but I was interested in actually forming a team. So, we went and registered the name and did the whole business process, and we established a team. And basically just put out the request for players. And we had a pretty good response. This area here has over 100 and something different types of nationality, and they all love soccer,
So out of like 9 million people we're in the New York City region, the only common denominator people have is soccer. So out of all these 100 different languages that they speak, they all enjoy soccer, football. And so Alex, being from New York and being an athlete as a student, he didn't have representation. He's a first generation American. There was a language barrier. So he had to figure out how to get himself on an NFL field without going through college. And so he had to go to speed camp. He had to do certain things, invest in himself to do that. So he knew that, he wanted to do this for our community because we are mostly around first generation Americans, that's the majority here in the New York City harbor. So that's his story. And I thought that was commendable for him to spend all of my condo money on a soccer team. And we knew nothing about soccer. I knew I played soccer like maybe 3 weeks out of the year in high school. You know how I'm from PA, I'm from outside of Philly, and that's what we do in the suburbs. You have every little sport here and there, but I come from hip hop. So my background is PR, journalism, broadcast, radio. I'm a writer, I can speak, personal speaker, ballet, tap, jazz, piano, flute. I didn't play a sport. And then I fell in love with this darn sport. And it just took me by surprise because I'm only in like the Yankee. I mentioned to you that we would go to the Yankee match games and I'd wear stilettos. Like I think he bought me my first pair of sneakers as an adult. I never had sneakers past gym class, like high school. So, I mean, you're throwing me, little Miss, suburban girl that loves hip hop and loves to just wear stilettos. You're throwing me to the Wolves and the Yankee Stadium in the Bronx.
Yeah, well, that's back then they when people went to the stadiums they go dressed up.
Yep.
Times has changed, but it's like.
Well, I just met him about 8 years ago. Yeah. I don't know what happened. But I don't have flip flops.
Yeah, but the bottom line is it's just the representation of the community and the fact that I've been there, I've done that, I've seen, and maybe to fast track certain situations for a lot of these kids, to circumvent, like there's it's somewhat of I won't say an obstacle, but it's challenges, to try to get to the next level.
Yeah, especially when we're around Red Bulls. Red Bulls team is close by us, and MLS is a big system, and a lot of people don't have the opportunity to go to a D1 school to try, to even get the opportunity to go to a combine. So he definitely wanted to give people an opportunity. And this market, there's probably like 500 soccer clubs in our area. Kearney is the hub of soccer. Like, we're in the soccer hub of America. So it just made sense. And then we just, like I said, he enjoyed it. I could not see him investing our $50,000, $100,000 in an NFL player. And then he could tell you the day that before he gets at the draft, he could tell you, I don't want you as an agent. And then you lose your money. But that's the sports agent where he was headed. And I'm like, that doesn't make money sense because that's a problem. Yeah. So this was a better situation for us. And then we actually I like it. Like, he loves sports and I don't, but I love soccer. Like, I feel like I can kick the ball myself.
Yeah. So we should say that Sibrena is going to be a goalkeeper or the backup goalie for the team this summer.
I don't know about that. I'm 5'3". This black girl can't jump. I don't know where you're thinking.
So I have to ask. You guys are a part of NISA as well with the men's team. What does the NISA announcement that came out a few weeks ago? How does that change or create a different landscape for professional women's soccer and the New Jersey Teamsters women's side?
Yeah, I think it's great. What about you?
It's exciting in the sense where that partnership creates more opportunities, basically, for those that have not gone through that process, so it streamlines it, and I think that in the long run, UWS is gonna see the value.
Yeah.
NISA is a great organization, and doing things the right way, and hearing the consensus that and dealing with the
front
office commissioners, and they're very hands-on.
I think Josh does a great job. John does a great job. Samantha, and they basically help you through the process, but you have to do your work, right? So as the owners, like, we had to make sure we had the right CPAs and the right attorneys, and we make sure our front office is efficient from top to bottom. That was like very important, the business structure of it. We're new to soccer. We didn't do soccer the traditional way, like from the youth level build up. Ignorant is bliss. We started at a semi-pro level. Mm-hmm. We lucked up on a great coach. We tried 1 or 2 different coaches. They lasted about a month, and we decided, we wanted people that was all about the community and not really about just, this is a money sport. So people want certain things they think they should be entitled to. But when you're a startup, you can't pay someone $70,000 salary. We don't, you don't have that type of relationship. It's not that type of business. So because we didn't start from a youth level, we had to incur expenses from Alex's pocket. And then we learned that we work our way down, which happened to work in our favor.
Yeah. And just to add on to that, it's 2 things. The one that you forgot was the discovery situation, right? And then to answer the fact that, just to add on to piggyback what Sibrena was mentioning, is that others look, upon us like, well, these guys don't know anything about soccer, and they didn't, what makes you think that this is going to be sustainable? Well, Sibrena has 20 plus years in the entertainment and music industry as a PR communication.
And as an entrepreneur and a millionaire, self-made under the age of 30, along with Puffy and Master P, without my parents' money,
right. And then I have 20 plus years as procurement officer, project management, process improvement.
And as an athlete.
And, you have to have some sort of business sense, right? But at the same time, I read the Real Madrid way. I actually studied their model a little bit, and they didn't know anything about anything. They walked in there in a bankrupt organization. They were like, okay, so now it's a multi-billion-dollar, both Barcelona and Real Madrid. And so it's a model, it paved the way, roll out the red carpet and say, hey, this is, if you have what it takes to follow this model, I mean, it can be done. So I said, oh, you know what? I can apply that here. Why not? Why not us?
Right.
And then you were going to mention you forgot his question about the discovery situation.
The discovery. Well, I don't think you asked me anything about discovery, did you?
No,
not yet.
Not yet.
I'm sorry. I know. I thought.
He's jumping in.
It's all right. It's all good.
Yeah.
So I have to ask, you guys now have this team, the New Jersey Teamsters FC, Bayonne, New Jersey. What is it like being the first Black owners of a professional soccer team in America?
American Black owners, because I think there are some French Blacks.
American Black. I apologize.
If I could be brutally honest, it's not like a big deal. It's not a respect thing because we are African American. Well, he's Hispanic and Black, right? But they see our face and they see Black. Now, just be quite frank. You could be a Black from Africa. You could be a Black from France. You could be Black from any country. You're going to come in as a soccer person because this is your background, and you're going to get all the respect and all the kudos in the world. But when you have a woman, first of all, principal, Black Americans, all of that comes with a lot. So we aren't accepted by, you don't see people calling us up, oh my gosh, can we work with you? It would be nice to be the Denzel of soccer or the Beyonce, but they're just not as inviting. And maybe it's because American history is not big on soccer. Like it's the number one, it's the fastest growing sports now, but it wasn't for many generations. And I think the Hispanic market, although they're minorities here, they have their footprint in football. So they don't have, they get accepted quicker than I, especially, and quicker than Alex, which is really sad. Even for professional owners, like what professional owners have reached out to us? Black owners? No, I don't know. Maybe maybe you've just spoken with one or two, maybe this year, but we've been in business for a minute yet. It's like it's almost like it's taboo to be in our position. It's really odd for me.
So it's like, I look at it this way also. It's like everyone has its different layers. You could be a player, you could be a person that's aspiring to be in the front office or in the staff. Players go through all sorts of obstacles, as color, it's all sorts of situations. Well, for us, it's presented a little bit of a challenge, but not in the sense that, there are things that you can't overcome, because the challenge is, what you perceive it, what you allow it to be, and for us, we're just individuals, like we network, we have a lot of network and, folks that treat us well. And I mean,
especially abroad, like we're not tripping about our American peers. When we can get a lot done, we can move our players abroad. Like if we have no one to really work with here, our players have other avenues. So we're not stuck with wanting love from anybody except our community, anybody except the fans that, in Bayonne, New Jersey area, New York City area. And also, we have the respect of pretty intelligent and powerful influencers in soccer from all over the world. So if there's only, if there's no love here, it's okay.
As love, yeah.
We're doing what we need to do for the kids. We got players in D1 universities. We got players shipped abroad to premier teams. And so while we're hated, because it can't be because they know us. They don't know us. They would love us. If they knew me, Please forget it. I'm the best thing since sliced bread. Who wouldn't love me?
Yeah, that's true.
So they don't really know us, and we get it, and what you see on TV is television, and they make us the bad guy because how dare some Black people decide to want to own a team, So we were really looked at like, oh, you think you're special. You want to own a team. I mean, he said these words, one of the so-called mentors that we only met for 15 minutes. He said, who do they think they are? And it's like, we think we are ambitious people who have a dream, who wants to help other people get to the levels that they need to be. And we want to get to the level where we want to be too, because this is fun for us. This is our second half of careers, So this is great. It's hard, but it's fun.
And you guys have done a really good job. You've been on social media since the day you two and I have met. We've traded ideas and spoken, and it's really refreshing to see you guys out there promoting not just your team, but you guys as owners. And I'm impressed. And I can't think of any better organization right now that could be supportive of not just the Black American community, but also for soccer in general, because you guys have men's team. You're developing with your community and the youth programs. And then the women's team obviously is an extra notch. But let's talk a little bit about the club itself. Mm-hmm. What is the overall mission of the Teamsters FC?
Well, we have a mission. The mission is to develop and how do you say play?
Well, basically we have put together a development organization, players, and help promote them and advance them not only on the pitch but off the pitch also, while creating a winning culture at the same time. So it's win-win for both the players and for the organization, because it has to be fair for our staff who are also aspiring to get to a next level. Just like as an organization, we aspire to go to the next level, which is pro, right? So our staff grows with the organization and the community at the same time.
We are pro. What do you mean? We aspire to go to the next
level. I'm thinking in the sense of,
past tense.
The pathway abroad also.
Yeah, but we already are pro. You said we're aspiring to be pro. Publicist. We are pro. But not only that, our mission is to develop and train players and coaches in order to get to the next level, as well as to mentor the community, because that's a big part of being a Teamster. Like, we play several different roles. Like, I'm not just the CEO, I'm handling marketing. He handles GM and president, but all of our players, they have to mentor, they have to be out in the community. It's in their agreement. I don't care if you're development, if you're the reserve squad, if you're not about the community, then we can't help you. Because we don't want selfish people. We want you to be selfish about wanting your goal, wanting a career, but you've got to give back. And so that's what we're about. We're about developing players and coaches and helping everybody get to the next level and utilizing our pathway to Europe to help our players in a closed market, basically.
So it's like a pay it forward type of scenario. So we'll build from within, promote from within. And so basically, case in point, we have one of our players who, on the amateur side, he decided to take a leave from playing soccer and approach and take.
He's in medical school.
And now he's in orthopedic, which future goal is to become the team doctor. So with our network, we paired them up with one of our team network doctor, Dr. Vasquez. And so he's going to be shadowing him, get some hours under his belt, understand the whole internship, basically. And that's just one of the ways where, we contribute and pay it forward,
Yes.
Well, let's talk about the women's side too while we're at it. This is the inaugural year for the women. What is the goal, the year one goal of the club? Is it to win a championship? Is it to make sure you go out and you promote your brand or support the community? What is the goal for year one, the inaugural year of the Teamsters women?
The goal for year one is to promote a winning product, not just on, but off the field also. So whether it be winning matches, whether it's,
definitely got to be winning matches.
Of course, it's a winning culture.
We need a winning coach and a winning players. Because if you ain't winning, you won't be a Teamster for long.
Well, that's one aspect of it. So it's winning with the community and just letting everyone become aware that, yes, we are here in Jersey Teamsters, not just on the men's side, but on the women's side also, which is underrepresented.
And I would say it's definitely to win a championship. I mean, we're not here to like, oh, let's just see how well we do. No, we're here to freaking win matches. We're here to get a cup. That's like ultimate goal. First year, if we can do it, we can do it. I believe that we can, as with the right coach and the right players, we can make anything happen. So while he is kind of shy about where he wants to be, I am just like in your face. I'm all about winning. I'm all about making stuff happen. And that's how I am.
Well, it's a good attitude to have, right?
Yeah.
Yin and yang, both in the same.
She's the end result, and I'm the process person.
There we go. There we go. You got to have the process, right? You got to go through it.
Exactly. So I'm a processy individual, and that's just by 20 plus years of experience. She's like,
I'm like an eagle. Yeah. I fly over this stuff, and I could see every part. I could see beware. I could see where we need what we need to do, and that's my role. Like I'm the overseer. I see everything, and then I figure out how to be sustainable, how to continue to be sustainable in the middle of a pandemic, how to get the women's team, like what we need to do, making things happen. That's just my thing.
Well, we have a question coming from YouTube, but also we had this question already ready. How did you come up with the name Teamsters, and why the Z in the name? Can you guys give us some insight into that?
You tell them why the Teamsters. I'll tell them about the Z.
So just when the marketing aspect of it, we came up with like the Eagles, this, that, and the other didn't resonate for our community. I said, okay, you know what? We live in the Northeast, side, and, I'm a soccer agent, and I want to align myself with, let's say, Philadelphia Union, and just one of those.
We're in a blue collar
state, and basically, who are we? We want to represent the community, and that why not better than Teamsters?
Everybody here works for the union. You have all these unions all around us. We're on the New York Harbor, but the Z represents. First of all, I'm in the middle of New York. I'm in the middle of New York City, practically. You got to have the Z. That's the urban feel, number one. Number two, we did a study. And the Generation Z, while they're playing sports and they're watching and they're on their games, they're not attending the matches. And that's the study about Gen Z. Like, if they're not translating, they're into the sport, but they're not going the way the millennials and our generation, So we want to definitely tap into that market. We have to tap in. That's the future for us. We've got to build a whole generation of soccer fans that can be our fans, our supporters. And why not Z?
Why not?
Yes. And I don't know why people keep asking me this question, because I've said it so many times. It's on the website, it's on the press, but I think they want me to say something different. There's nothing else different that I'm going to tell you. That's the answer.
So the next question, what drew the organization to the UWS? There's always opportunities, but the UWS has a certain draw to it for everybody, obviously for certain reasons. But what drew you guys to the UWS in general?
In general, I look at it as divine opportunity. We were in the middle of the whole pandemic and preparing our whole 2021-22 season, from staff. And then the opportunity came. Sibrena was like, we're going to do this women's thing right now.
Well, because we had been, I'm the only woman for so many years on the front office, right? So I'm dealing with a bunch of guys that are telling me, be patient. Let us do X, Y, Z before we do women's. Team has always been a part of our 5-year plan. I tried to put this together 2 years ago, but I had pushback because they wanted us to succeed and show our teeth and strength in the men's, and then And when UWS called me, I was like, I did my little research. I saw the teams that you guys had. You have close proximity that works for us, because we don't want to travel cross country and so much. We want to stay in our local area because our fans will come out when it's local. The fans aren't coming out to see us when Californians, So we had to think about what's going to draw the fans in. Definitely women. Like, are you kidding me? There's nobody greater than us girls. So women are like the number one soccer players in the United States, women in the world. Like, Who doesn't? I'm a winner. I just want to be with winners.
I love it. I love it.
I've been getting a lot of requests from abroad, and just like, hey, you guys are onto something really big here. I was like, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So what makes the New Jersey Teamsters organization different from other clubs or organizations, not just in the league, but around NISA, around the United States? What makes this club tick differently than everybody else?
Well, I would say that we are truly an independent club. And when I say that, I mean, we have a board of advisors, international board of advisors that we listen to, because we knew we never played soccer, right? A lot of other owners and GMs, they've played soccer in some capacity. They've been around it. That's not our story. Pure passion and the will and the wherewithal to do something that we love. That's our story. Like, this is a difficult chapter we're not 20 years old. So we've had to learn, I've read Soccer for Dummies. I'm re-educating myself. This is exciting. It's like, I can't wait to start promoting and relegating. Then we can really get excited about it.
Yeah.
You're going to excite all of Twitter and Facebook and YouTube with those comments of Pro Rel. I'll tell you that.
Yes. But it's also the passion too, for me, the passion and the mere fact that, we're able to do something where others, were like, you can't do it. You're not supposed to, just because. And it's okay, just because you say that, I am going to do it. So people have to understand when they say you can't do something,
just forces us.
So it's just more fuel to the fire. And
yeah, we got asked, in fact, to be a part of a story for another team, a semi-pro team that's coming in the community. And I was like, oh my God, this is great. But I can't speak to how my story is, because my story is I'm not a Scott's, no, I'm not the team, Scott's whatever team in Kearney. Their head start, they're not Black. They don't have our challenges, but we have passion. We know what we're doing because we're successful business people, and he's a successful athlete. He knows how athletes' locker room should look, what the athletes want to do when they walk out their cars, like how they should feel when they hit that. We know these things. Yeah. And it's just pure. We like doing it different. We don't want to do it any other way. This is really a billionaires boys club that we figured out how to be millionaires and get in. So no, we don't want to be what everyone else is doing, because they have sports money, legacy money. Family's been in sports for 50 million years. That's not our story. And I think this makes our story very interesting, because we don't come from soccer. We went to one pro soccer match in our life, Red Bull match. And I was amazed. I was blown away. I was like, oh my God, this is the greatest thing ever. We've only been to our matches and people that we play against. So we are really ignorant, and that's why it works. We're not doing what everyone else wants to do, what everyone else thinks we should do. We're following the European model in a large sense, because we have Niall Quinn on our board. Niall Quinn is the ex-CEO of Sunderland. Former Man City striker. We have Enoch Shinumi. He graduated from grad school and then played on the Champions League and then the Nigerian national team. We have Avi Mittal. He created the Roots Premier Indoor Futsal League in India. So our players have a pathway to India. We have Joost de Wit. He was recommended from our league, our men's league, and he used to be a CEO of Belgium team, a winning UEFA champ. So we have people, Darren McCartney,
who's a former director of
who doesn't know Darren, right?
Yeah, who don't know Darren.
So we have people that are guiding us and helping us, and they love that we don't have the typical brain that other soccer owners have. They love that we are so green and different, because it's refreshing, or because we won't have the same situations, because we're open-minded. We're not limited to how soccer is done.
The style is completely different, right? You've taken soccer and you flipped it upside down to fit your model, right? And who you represent, not just in your community, but who you represent as in yourselves. And I think it's fabulous. I think it's an awesome opportunity, because you have a swagger about it. You know exactly what you want to get done, and you're not going to take no for an answer. And I really appreciate the authenticity of it.
Thank you.
Exactly. And that's what I explained to a lot of folks, that this business is an unconventional type of business. And at the same time, there's really no standard operating procedure for it, right? So you have to really think outside the box. You know, you can't be like, oh, I'm gonna follow step 1, step 2, step 3. No, it's not like that. You have to go. For us, we did everything backwards. And that's what people were like, well, damn, well, how the hell did that happen? How did you?
We got kids listening.
I have people that came up. Well, I refrain from saying his name, but C-level U.S. Soccer Federation individuals that were like, you guys are amazing. You know, like really, like, you know, separately from afar, but I'm watching what you guys are doing, and it's amazing. So that's something like, wait, what's the word I'm looking for? That a testament of like, okay, well, you're on the right path. So it's just a matter of like, you know.
You basically took the IKEA instruction manual and your back page, right? And went, you're
like a little.
Exactly. So, you know, we have the New Jersey connection. There's a lot of clubs in the New Jersey area. What is it like with having so many clubs? And should we assume there will be a healthy rivalry for you already?
I see somebody named NJ Copa FC trying to start something.
No, thank you for coming on board, NJ Copa. I see you guys.
Yes, I don't know about you yet before I start saying anything, but I'm looking forward to getting to know you. I'll be reviewing some YouTube clips.
Yeah.
And stop trying to tell me what to say, Alex. He's trying to tell me don't. I'm competitive. Hi, NJ Copa FC. We gotta have lunch. I gotta meet the owners. I gotta meet these people.
I know one of them. I know one of them is gonna have a story to tell you. So I'm glad that there's an opportunity for some rivalry, but also that Eastern Seaboard has a lot of opportunity to create a rivalry. Is there, and not knowing the landscape of the league, you will find a rivalry. I hope it's new. I hope it's with Copa. I hope it's with Lancaster Inferno. Two really good clubs out there on the Eastern Seaboard. We look forward to that this season. But the other question I have to ask, you guys are so developed in your community. You're involved and you're working with the Park and Rec system. Could we potentially see a youth club developed down the road?
Absolutely.
We're already doing it.
Yeah. Good.
Oh yeah, we started our U20, U23 and development lower we're starting our layers
from top to the bottom, not the bottom to the top.
we're trying to get to U16, but like I said, there is a lot of clubs in our region, and they have a lot of heritage. So a lot of these kids have been in their systems for years. Yes. So you don't want to like pry them apart. We just want to select the most elite. So at U16 and up, so that we can put them through our system until we can go lower when we are able to go U5, 7.
Start of development, right?
Yeah. Yes. But for now, like we're enjoying the young adults. Like I would say we have our youngest players like 16.
16, yes.
But he's in the U20 team.
He's more in an advanced stage. So.
Yeah.
So
we're getting there.
Sorry, so let's talk a little bit about the women's team. Is there a certain player, Alex, that you're looking for as it relates to the women's team? Is there we talk about you can coach talent, but you can't coach heart and determination. What is it being a former athlete? What are you looking for in your athletes for the women's Teamsters?
Well, not me per se, my coach, but I would say as an athlete, as a former athlete
GM.
And a GM, an individual who has a high IQ, right, knows the game. And if you don't know the game, you're willing to learn, be coached. Effort, you can't teach effort. You have, your effort has to, basically you have to be hardworking. You can't be, I wasn't always the biggest, the strongest, the fastest, but I knew that, when match day came, I had to be prepared. I'd study my opponent. So what that consisted of is preparation. And so you have to prepare. And that is just not just on the pitch, but off the pitch also. So you have to be very competitive and know that outside of the scope of when whether it's the opponent on the field or off the field, you have to come prepared. And those are the type of like blue collar, players that we're looking for.
But not only that, every player has to earn their spot with us, right? So once we have the coach and the coach can pick the players, it's up to the players to be responsible, especially on the reserve squad and lower where, you know, somebody's work schedule, you have to be dedicated. You need to be committed. Like I'm not here for like, oh, I can't make it 3 days, but you want to play on a Sunday. That doesn't happen with us. So everybody has to earn their spot. They got to take this serious, because we, like, the fees that we charge when we are not on the pro level are so low. The $500 to $1,500 range, whatever it is, we're not charging what an academy or a club would charge, especially during the pandemic. So I look at it as I'm spending my money to invest in these players. So they need to give me 1,000%, like I'll give them 1,000%. That's just what I expect.
And then the mindset also for a lot of these players is that they have to understand that now is an easier pathway now, that they could see this light at the end of the tunnel. Right, no longer that after 16, 17, or when you're out of high school, like, what am I going to do? I can't go to college or whatever. No, there's either the path where if you're good enough, you can you get, you know, a D1 scholarship. But if you want to pursue that on a professional side of things, then you have the option to either play on a D3 or you know, have us assist you to get to across the pond. And so that's what has become now.
So this year has been really difficult for all organizations throughout sport and the world in itself. What have you taken away from this experience this past year, both maybe positive and negative?
Positives, I guess, would be like always thinking outside the box and making sure that we're sustainable. So that has been fun. And it's finally, people are listening to me. So we're doing great in terms of being sustainable, which is good, but also to like make sure that we're still communicating with players. We're still training. You know, we held trials, we held training camp. So we're staying consistent and acting as if this pandemic is not happening in terms of how we move forward with players. Because what if, you know, we're allowed to play in Jersey professional matches, right? But if there's no fans in the stands, you still got to be prepared. So we don't know what's going to happen in terms of if the, you know, what the leagues will do, but we just need to be ready. We're looking for a coach for the women's team. And then we can we expect to hold trials for players in March. So we're gearing up for May, and we anticipate playing in May, but we're only going to play as if we're ready. So that means we got to have the coaches, and we got to have the number of players, the right coach and the number of players, right? And we're ready. Yeah. So positive mental vibes. I think we can do it. I just need some more applications for the women's coaches.
On my side of things, the positivity is the fact that, you know, to be able to take a step backwards and slow things down and look at the business aspect of it and take, you know, somewhat take your time as far as interviewing, you know, whether potential whomever, coaches, best, whatever. The networks that I've, you know, come across, it's just been like amazing. You know, people just like on the back end, hey, Alex, you know, whatever you need, however I can help you, blah, blah, blah. Okay, you know. So it's just a lot. It's a lot, and it's been very pleasant for me, you know, as far as, you know, everything that we've been doing, you know, at home.
At home. Can you imagine? Cook, clean. You got to work.
Of course you can. Everybody can imagine.
Yeah, I mean, hey, we all have to be Swiss Army knives to some extent, right?
The microwave stuff, yeah.
Hey, this is microwave.
He hasn't had a microwave meal in ages.
Oh man, he's going with the hungry man that he used to eat during those European football European days, huh?
You see my face.
What should fans be excited about or look forward to in this 2021 year for the women's Teamsters?
I would say fans, it's a big expectation. Oh man, it's crazy. Entertainment, you know, expect you know, very positive vibe, a good environment, good fan friendly
on the waterfront.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a good
DJ. The uniforms, the girls' uniforms, I'm designing with Alex, but I'm making sure that the fit is perfect so that the wind, you know, when they run, they don't have to worry about nothing breezing in the air. Like, I'm thinking of all these things, and I've got to be an influencer for this line too.
Fashion show.
It is a fashion show, because if you look good, you play good, you feel good, right?
Hey, that's mine.
That's your line.
That's the
Somebody right.
So let's talk about this. You guys, Sibrena, you've been in the hip hop industry, and Alex, you've been in the European scene for football, and you've seen kind of the crowd and the structure on soccer as well throughout the world. Mm-hmm. What do you envision to be the perfect match day environment for your women's team?
Match day environment. We'll have 3 matches that day: men's pro, women's pro, and maybe the women's reserve, right? So you have 3 matches. You're keeping people in the stands. You've got the best popcorn, the best empanadas, because that's what people eat over here. Yeah, the empanadas, empanada lady. And then you have a hottest DJ playing Afro beats and hip hop and a little salsa merengue, and a little bit of Born in the USA too, and
an entertainer.
And we have a national anthem. It's usually a kid from the Boys and Girls Choir singing away. What else?
I'm not talking about that entertainer. I'm talking about like halftime entertainment.
Okay, we're going to have halftime entertainment, like one of my hip hop artists, somebody to come out that's not going to charge me 75,000 racks to come and perform at my Division II women's soccer team. No, it's a 2 in the girls.
Yeah, just expect a good time and good.
And you'll see us working. Yeah. We don't get to watch the match. We literally go home and watch it on our Apple TV, and we put whatever the streaming thing is, and we watch it like we're fans. So we actually are working, but we enjoy it. And we have fans come from North Carolina, from all over Jersey, like the same ones every week. And it's like a family reunion. I love it.
So I have to ask, last night we were in a production meeting, and you were upset with Alex because of the Nutella cookies. Will those be available at the match? That's my question.
I'll tell you a story about that, right? So she was like, what was it?
What are you going to tell?
You can't have these cookies, so I'm going to hide them. Okay, well, fine. She hid them. She had it under her bed, but she was eating it herself. And I was like, I found it in the morning. I was like, oh, okay, this is what you hid it.
You got to hide it from Alex because he eats everything. He's like Mikey. Did you ever watch that? You remember Mikey? He likes it. He eats everything in the house. I can't save anything.
But then at 2 a.m, I got to hear I got a
and stomach he eats at 2 a.m. He sneaks and eats.
She was like, I got a stomach ache.
Oh, be quiet. Don't tell that part.
Yeah, that's it. This is why you had a stomach ache.
I had to ask. I'm sorry. I had to ask. So we have a question from Nathan Bryson over on YouTube. He asked, do the Teamsters have any supporters groups?
No, we do have one. We got one from social media. And my friend Kim Crabb, the first African-American soccer player, is shouting us out, by the way. So hi to Kim Crabb. She is the #1 in the first. And we got to make sure that she gets in the U.S. Soccer Hall of Fame because she's got to be there. But anyway, what was I saying?
About the supporter.
We do have a supporters group, and they're all from Twitter. And I don't know them, but I like them.
But definitely, Jason.
But if anybody wants to start our supporter group.
What was his name?
Nathan.
Jason. Sorry, Nathan. But yeah, no, definitely we could have that conversation. So shoot us a note, whether on the back end of DM. Send it to Sibrena, and they'll
Sibrena.
Yeah, don't send it to me. Send it to Sibrena.
I have a social media manager.
Okay, well,
her name is Mackenzie A. Woods. So please DM, and Mackenzie will give it to us. Yes. But we do have a supporters group, and it's called like Hot Dogs or something. It's so different, so cute.
But Nathan wants to be a part.
Nathan, you could be a part of us.
But we can have that conversation. Don't worry.
But I've had people pretend like they wanted to be our supporters group, and they really were Detroit City FC fans, and they were just clowning us like, "Oh my God, you're killing me!" But that's
Detroit City does a good job of that. They can interrupt.
They make me famous. I love it. Tell them that thank you. Keep giving me more. You're just blowing my team name up and blowing my butt up, and I love it. Because I don't even read the stuff. I don't even do the social media, but you're talking about me, so it's all good.
What does community mean to you? Before we get into Beyond the Pitch and we talk about your guys' community efforts with the team, what does community mean to each of you?
What does it mean to you?
Well, community, without community, it's one of the reasons why we started the crowdfunding is to have the inclusion from the community, right? Because without the support of the community, it's hard to have, create, what's what's considered a the fan base, right? So that's one aspect of it. The other part also, one of the reasons why this whole Teamsters thing came about was to give back. The fact that a lot of kids were underrepresented, whether on the youth side and the women's side, that was something that I saw. I was compelled to come in and help fulfill that part, where it's like, what, in this community here, no longer will you have to travel, to Europe or wherever or to whomever to get a trial. So in that aspect, I figure what?
Is that what community means to you?
Yeah, inclusion.
Because he will go on and
I'm
on and on.
Yeah, it's a story, It's just not a simple, community. But
yes.
Go ahead.
I love your story, honey. Community is everything to me.
That's what I just said.
I'm from a political family, a very high profile political family. And so all I know is how to hold coffee clutches, get to know my neighbors, have, get them gathered around the different political campaigners and politicians. And that's what I do anyway, naturally, like get people together. So it's been a challenge. We started with 5 fans. We grew it to about 250. I'm hoping to grow it to 5,000 this year. Yeah. Or next year when the pandemic allows us to have fans.
Fortunate for us, we have the great support of our
the mayor, the governor, the county executives. They all support us. They allow us to rent the stadium out, and so it has to be community. Well, we're nothing without the community. Actually, the players are from the community.
That's awesome. And the fact that you guys are able to continue that tradition of keeping players who are Bayonne, New Jersey based, New York based, who need an opportunity to demonstrate or to show, not just their community, but the world, what's going on. You guys are doing a great job. So keep that up. I want to ask you guys, this segment is called Beyond the Pitch, and we highlight our UWS communities, teams, individuals, players who are doing awesome things off the field. So I have to ask, this is your inaugural year, but tell us about how the club is working with the community, the Park and Rec District, to give back, and how is it helping raise awareness to help that community?
Well, we've been working with the school district of Bayonne as well as the city of Bayonne, and Pete Amadeo, the rec director of the city of Bayonne. He holds this special needs soccer camp for the past 3 years. And we kept bugging him, let us be a part of it. We became a part of it. And that just made our players so happy, the families that have these special needs, and just to be able to engage, kick the ball around, play games. They have pizza, they win a medal at the end of the season, and we give them T-shirts, we give them our brands, but it's really not about that. It's really about them. They need as much recreation as they can get. And my players need to put themselves in the community. So shout out to Pete Amadeo, and thank you for the city of Bayonne for allowing us to participate in things like this. The school board vice president asked us to have a New Jersey Teamsters Day, and we would have field days with the entire school district of Bayonne. So we're looking forward to that when school resumes. And these kids and these families, they need this recreation. So we're definitely, we also give free balls and equipment and money to NGOs around the world that support women's education in soccer. Favela Mangueira in Brazil and Rio, very dangerous. Maleka in Congo, very dangerous places. We ship balls, we ship feminine hygiene products, we do whatever we can. FIFA puts a pitch there for them, and we help support that. So it's not just about our neighborhood, it's definitely about women, children, education, and soccer.
That's really awesome. That in and of itself speaks volumes for what the club is doing, as well as you two. And I really appreciate that, going outside of your own communities to help demonstrate and help the game we love. And growing it, as a matter of fact, giving other opportunities. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So this is the time of the show where I put you guys on the hot seat.
Yes.
Got 4 questions. They'll be very easy for you guys. They're kind of unless it's a swing and miss. Well, let's go ahead and get started here. What style of pizza is your go-to style? Is it deep dish or thin crust?
Margarita.
Thin crust. Hey, I saw the other day in Billions, right? There was a segment about the pizza.
Okay, Alex. He's got a little bit of time.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go.
Okay, go ahead.
What's the story?
I just can't get the source of it, but I'll get to you on that. But it was, but I like thin crust.
He likes margarita pizzas. Yes.
Okay. But I'll get back to you with that one.
All right, we'll have to have an offside conversation and talk about this. What song is on repeat in the stadium this season?
Johnny Pacheco. No, it's salsa. No,
there's no music this season because the DJ is not playing music for the no fans. Yeah. But let me see. Stadium, the last year's big music was what? It was more like Afro beats. That's just the biggest, hottest thing out here now. Yeah. Afro beats. I'd rather listen to Biggie or Jay-Z, but I'm not Generation Z or millennial.
It's really huge in Europe now, and so
it's huge here
and here too, of course.
So no Wu-Tang coming out of the.
Yes. Movie? Oh, could possibly be. I used to manage You God from Wu-Tang Clan. So you never know.
Right across the pond.
But we have to play what the fans like, and most of the fans are not
that generation.
40-something plus like me.
They're not in our age bracket, but that's okay. That's okay. They're missing out. They don't know what they've missed. Favorite movie.
Mio. I watch it continuously. Scarface. Oh my gosh.
Say something. He actually watches the movie and says the whole script with the man, like Pacino.
Well, it's just American dream, Not in that aspect, not in that line of business. But
I was about to say, are you kidding me?
But the whole concept is like coming from nothing and you go into something, whether it was right or wrong. That's what a lot of like even the rappers aspire. It's like gotta get from some place to some. Where we were to.
Who gonna love you? Nobody.
I can't. Now you're here.
Watch it yourself.
And Sibrena, your go-to movie?
Oh gosh.
I really don't have one.
You watch a lot of and a lot of
I don't watch a lot.
Housewives.
I watch
Housewife of Bayonne.
No. Now let me see. My go-to movie would be. I still like Pretty in Pink. I like Molly Ringwald. I'm a girl, but that's like I love my 80s days. I'm sorry.
All right.
I have other loves of movies, but I can never think of them because it's just it's nothing that I can remember.
Nothing wrong with that.
Gangster movies. Yeah.
I like gangster movies. Yes.
All right. Last question.
Yeah.
Favorite Bayonne dinner spot?
Oh my God. Are you trying to get me kicked out of this town? Do you know how many owners we know? We don't have a favorite. Let's pick 3.
Give me 3. Your 3 go-to dinner spots in Bayonne.
So my favorite rock bar, I introduced Alex to rock music because I'm from the burbs and I'm listening to heavy metal. And where do we go?
The Vic.
The Vic in Bayonne. That's hot. Mm-hmm. The other thing is Villa Maria. What's the villa?
Oh gosh, how can you forget?
Come on, it's the villa up the street where it's Italian food and all the Italians come from nearby, far Staten Island, everywhere, and they go eat here at Villa.
No, that's not it.
Oh my gosh! Don't embarrass me.
I'll get the other.
No, you cannot not get the other one because it's right here and it's always right here, guys. And I know you guys think I'm crazy. Restaurant in Bayonne.
That's not it.
I don't know.
We'll come back to you on that.
Wait, we got one more option.
Okay.
What's the other one?
I don't know.
Mezcal's Kitchen. We used to love Mezcal's Kitchen.
Entertainment, yeah.
The food was delicious. The fish tacos are amazing. And Villa Maria is the best Italian restaurant up the street. So you got the Vic, you got Villa Maria's, and you had, Villa Maria is the catering hall. Oh no. Okay, don't ask me because it's not Villa Maria, but they do have good food.
Yeah, they do.
But that's only when we're catering. Somebody caters there. Yeah. But it's an Italian spot. I can't name it. I'm so mad at myself.
Caught that off guard.
I'm going to find out because you know what? They support our organization all the time. And they own a place called Pizza Master. But they have a restaurant. Oh, Cafe Bello.
Cafe Bello.
Yes, Cafe Bello, the Vic, and Mezcal's.
Well, you guys made it. You're off the hot seat. How can people follow you guys?
But she wasn't getting food.
That's right. You got to get them out. You got to tell where you love to eat, man. That's the way it is. Yeah. Can you kind of give me some idea? How can people follow you guys, keep track of you, see what's going on with Teamsters, both on the men's side and the women's side? How can people follow what's going on with the club?
Sure. New Jersey Teamsters at New Jersey Teamsters FC. Well, I'm sorry, at NJ Teamsters FC is on Instagram and Facebook. And then on Twitter, you can find us at NJ_Teamsters_FC on Twitter. And then the women's is NJ Teamsters Women, on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. So that's where you can find our socials for the team. For me personally, I'm Sibrena Geraldino at Sibrena Geraldino. And Alex doesn't have an Instagram right now.
I have
Facebook and Twitter.
And Twitter.
And LinkedIn.
Alexsi Geraldino.
Alexsi Geraldino. He thinks he's the king of LinkedIn. He's like, I got 5 million people. Important people. And he calls all of them and talks to everybody. And I'm like, where'd you meet this guy at? Man. LinkedIn.
Who don't know me now?
Got a network. Yes. Well, you too. I know I told you guys that we were gonna be 45 minutes. We're at an hour. I'm apologizing for holding you guys back, but you had a great story, and I wasn't gonna stop you.
Oh, thank you. You were so much fun. This is like one of the funnest interviews ever.
Yeah. We have some upcoming stuff pending, so
that will let you get some first scoops.
Yeah, don't go too far.
I don't know. We'll have to do a live. We'll make it happen. You'll have to get that Instagram account, Alex. I really appreciate you guys joining me this evening. I don't want to keep you any longer. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
I got one more thing. San Vito restaurant. Apparently, somebody from the stadium is watching this interview from Don Ahern Veterans Day, and they're like, San Vito. So we got to shout out San Vito too.
There we go. Well, I really appreciate it.
It's just for you.
What was that?
I'll put my Instagram back up just for you.
There we go. I like it. We'll have to do a weekly chat with the Teamsters. That will be fun.
Yeah. Yes, we do our powwow.
There we go.
We got to get on Clubhouse.
I don't know what Clubhouse is.
Okay. Well, on the DM side, you guys could get together on that.
Oh, we're gonna talk, honey.
Yeah.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
Awesome, you guys. I really appreciate it. Have a great rest of the evening, and we will chat soon.
Bye. Thank you for having us.
Cheers.
Stand ready to strike. My motto.
There we go. I like it.
Bye.
So thank you so much for joining us this evening for UWS Weekly. You can follow all things UWS and UWS2 on their social media pages and send your questions for future shows as well. Until next Thursday, have a great evening. Enjoy your weekend and cheers, everyone.